Hello everyone and welcome to Cats Out the Bag. In this podcast, I'm going to be chatting about all things relationships and all the gossip that everyone wants to know. I'll be sharing my thoughts on popular questions and trying my best to solve your dilemmas, whilst also sharing my own experiences and everything in between. Just a disclaimer, everything in this podcast is only my own opinion and I'm not claiming to be professional in any way, just giving advice and chatting away. Enjoy! So everyone, welcome to today's podcast. So today I'm going to be talking all things dilemmas. This is a Girl Talk Dilemmas podcast. Everything you guys want to know, I have the answers. So yeah, let's get straight into this. So I'm going to start off with the question of the week. So I've asked on my Instagram a question and I've got the answers here in a poll. So the question this week was, can my boyfriend have a girl best friend? Now, this is a bit of a tricky one. I know some people will think, yes, he's his own person. And some people will be thinking, absolutely not. That's not happening. Not while he's got a girlfriend. So this week's stats were kind of in the middle, actually, which I think most people would be surprised about. So we obviously have some calm, collected queens who thinks it's absolutely fine for their boyfriend to have a girl best friend. And then some who don't think it's okay. So have a little guess of the percentages you guys think it came out as. But so it was 59% said no, he cannot have a girl best friend. And 41% of people said, of course, honey, he can do what he wants. So obviously this is completely up to the boy to decide. Personally, of course, my boyfriend can have female friends. He can do whatever he wants. I'd just prefer if they weren't his best friend. To have a female best friend is a little bit strange because, like, how much can they really have in common? You always think there's something more going on if it's a female best friend. So I don't know personally how I feel about this one. The poll is obviously leaning more towards no, he's not allowed a girl best friend. But obviously it is completely up to him. He's his own person. It's completely up to him to decide who he can and can't be friends with. And trust is obviously one of the most important things when it comes to being in a successful relationship of any kind. The thing is, the way I look at it is, think of your parents. Do they have best friends of the opposite gender? Probably not, but they probably have friends and acquaintances, work friends, whatever, who are of the opposite gender, because it's healthy. It doesn't matter what gender they are, as long as they have friends and they respect the relationship, then it shouldn't have any problems. Because if he was friends with a boy who wasn't respecting your relationship, or friends with a girl who was respecting the relationship, I know I'd rather him be friends with a girl who was respecting our relationship personally. So yeah, that's my personal opinion on it. It's a bit of a yes-no situation. Maybe not a best friend, but definitely a friend is absolutely fine, as long as you guys are communicating still. And if he's messaging his female friends while he's with you, that's a good sign. If he's hiding it away, that's not normal, because he's obviously trying to, like, keep it a bit of a secret from you, doesn't feel like he can message her around you. And if you've met her, that's an absolute yes. That's a positive. He's not hiding her from you at all, which is amazing. So personally, that's my own opinion. Yeah, so that was the question of the week. Let me know what you guys think as well. But let's get straight into the first dilemma. Okay, so the very first dilemma of this girl talk is, I don't want to go to my best friend's wedding. Oh my goodness. So that is the subject of this dilemma. Should we read a bit more into this? Oh my goodness. Okay, so my best friend is getting married to someone I don't like. I'm really struggling to be happy for them, as I really just don't like him. He broke up with his ex just 2 weeks before they got together and has shown so many red flags ever since. Oh, that's not a good sign. I've always avoided him, but still want to see my best friend. I've started to avoid seeing my friend, as they now come as a package deal. Whenever I ask for plans, it's always, we can do this date. A year down the line, they're now getting engaged. Oh my goodness, a year? Okay, well that moved very, very quickly, but I guess each to their own. It's her life, I guess. They have an engagement party coming up soon. Is it best just not to go? I don't want to be a part of the wedding at all, but I want to be there for my friend. I know she'll ask me to be her maid of honor, or maybe even just a bridesmaid. What should I do? I really don't want to appear fake. Okay, I would never say don't go. That is a hefty dilemma. That's a tricky one, because obviously you love your best friend, and I'm not gonna lie, in this situation, she comes first. If it was your wedding, you know you'd want your best friend there no matter what. Everyone wants their best friend at their wedding, and not going is really unfair on her just because you don't like who she chose to be with. I mean, that seems really unfair. Obviously, I don't know the extent of this, but you really don't like him. I'm just thinking, does she know that you don't like him? I mean, I assume she must because she's your best friend. I assume you've talked to her about this. And when they first got together, you probably said about all the red flags. But I feel like, yeah, you really do just need to be her friend at the moment and be there for her, because this is what she wants to do. And at the end of the day, it is up to her. It's not great. You could talk to her about it a bit, but what I would do personally is just put myself in her position. You know that you'd want your best friend at your wedding no matter what. The fact that you don't like the husband or boyfriend, I don't really think that's an excuse, to be honest. You just have to be her friend and do what you think she would do for you and what she wants to do, to be honest. Fair enough, they could end up breaking up. I mean, there's a lot of red flags, and you may have to be there for her when things, or well, if things fall apart. She knows the guy she's marrying, you know, she knows him a lot better than you do. I would personally just trust my friend in this situation, because at the end of the day, she knows what she's doing. But yeah, I think definitely go to the wedding. I would definitely go. I don't think that's even a question. It's just how you approach it all. Maybe if she says be maid of honour, you maybe don't go for that, just because if you feel like being really, really in the wedding's a bit fake, stick with your instincts, but you really do have to go. Well, you don't have to, you can do what you want, but I personally really think you should go. Okay, so on to the next dilemma. This one is a juicy one, and I really don't know what I'd do in this situation, but we're going to try and unpick it together. Okay, so my besties got matching tattoos without me. That's the subject line. Oh my goodness. Instantly, that's just like, what? How? Oh my goodness. I mean, that's just so shady. I can't believe that. Let's read the description. So, me and my besties recently went on a holiday together. There's 3 of us, all aged 21. We said we were going to get a matching tattoo to resemble the holiday. Oh, that's a really nice idea, actually. Me and my friends were going to do that. We've been sending suggestions back and forth, and then one of them tells me she's getting a tattoo, but doesn't really answer me when I ask what it is. This seemed a bit strange to me. Then a couple of months go by and I don't really think anything of it, and I realise that the other girl also has a tattoo. I thought this was really strange that she didn't tell me about it or ask me to go with her, as it's such a big deal. Yeah, I actually completely get that, because if I was getting like my first tattoo or something, I would want someone with me. You would definitely be asking people to go with you, and you'd think that person would be your best friend. So when I asked about the tattoo, the look on her face instantly explained to me what had happened. This really broke my heart. I know that I shouldn't be upset about this, but it really hurt, as I didn't know that they were closer. They are always there for me and are the best of friends normally, and always have my back. Why did they do this? Oh my goodness, that's honestly so sad. I mean, that is awful. I know my heart would just drop. That's just awful. I honestly can't believe that. But so at the end of the day, right, they made this decision without you, and they hid it from you, knowing how much it was going to hurt you, which I think is just awful. I mean, that's so sad. They obviously knew that this was going to hurt you, you know? This is just, it's just awful. I don't know. Anyway, this is just so like classic mean girl. It's just so not nice. I feel like this is just proven that trios don't work. It is really sad. This is awful. I mean, you've been left out of this. How many other things have you been left out of? What I would probably do is just sit them down and talk to them. Maybe don't make it a big deal. Well, it is a big deal actually, but maybe don't like make it seem like it's that big a deal to you. I don't know, but I would just say, look, I really want to get this off my chest. I'm really confused. Like, have I done something? What is the reason for you getting a tattoo without me? Like, I don't see why there'd be any reason for you guys to do this. And if you're just really upfront and honest with them, then maybe they'll be honest back. I don't know, because I don't know what your friends are like. I would hope that they would tell you. I would be saying, okay, guys, I'm not meaning to be dramatic, but could you please let me know what's happened here? Because I thought we were all getting this together, and then I find out that you guys have gone off and got it on your own. Like, what's that about? To be honest, I think you've got out of a bad situation here. These friends obviously aren't real. I know you say they're real, but to do that behind your back is just awful. That's my take on it anyway. Yeah, I honestly just really hope that you figure this one out, because that's honestly just awful. Yeah, let's get into the next dilemma. Okay, so this next dilemma, wow, this is a strange one, and I actually don't really know how I feel about it yet. but we will see. So the subject is, should I be charging for my girls' nights? This is a tricky one, I think. Okay, so let's read the description. When I have the girls over, it's my choice to host, so I'll be the one providing. I fully expect to pay for everything. I'll provide the drinks and snacks and not ask for anything in return. However, recently, I went to my friend's house and she charged us all a £5 entry for what she was providing when we had no choice in the food. Oh my goodness, that is awful. Were they just on the door asking for a fiver? How does that even work? No, that's awful. I cannot believe that. Let's keep reading. I was so surprised, as I would have thought she was offering to pay for everything, considering she invited us all round. I understand that when you start paying for a lot of people, things do get pricey, but asking for a £5 entry fee seemed a bit off. Maybe ask us to bring our own drinks and snacks maybe even, but £5 entry fee, it shocked me. Should I be charging for my girls' nights? Okay, this is a very weird dilemma. That is strange. I could not imagine going to my friend's house and her saying, could you just ping me £5? I'd be like, for what? Like, that is so strange. If anything, I mean, I don't know how far away you guys live, but I know when I'm seeing my friends, we're all driving. We're paying petrol money. We're saving the person who's not going out the petrol money, you know? Does that make sense? I don't know. But then again, also, we all live with our parents still, so it's not like energy bills and all of that. Oh, I don't really know. But okay. I guess it does make sense to pay for what you're eating and drinking, to be honest. I mean, that is fine. That would be fine. But the second it gets to paying for more than I've eaten and drunk, I would be quite annoyed, to be honest. Say, I don't know, Jenny's in the corner and she's like eating all the snacks and she's just broken up with her boyfriend and she's drinking all of the drinks and everything. I don't know. And then you've driven everyone there and you're not drinking. So how is it fair that you and Jenny are paying the same entry fee? I think this whole entry fee thing is a little bit strange. I really wonder how she goes about that. I mean, has she literally got someone on the door saying like, can you give me a £5? That sounds ridiculous. If they've made it clear from the start that they're going to be charging, then I think that's fine. Like, communication is key. But I still think it's a little bit weird, but then I guess you can decide if you want to go or not. It just seems weird. If it gets any more than like £5 on the door, no, that's so strange. £5 I'd pay because I understand they're providing food and drinks. But I would personally always rather bring my own drink and a bag of crisps. Because then, first of all, you know you've got what you like. Because imagine if, like, I don't know, Sarah's the host. Imagine Sarah's providing, like, just Prosecco and spicy crisps. And you're like a Malibu and cheese and onion crisp kind of gal. Then you've paid £5 and you know you're not going to eat any of it. So I would definitely I would say, right, your question was, should I be charging for girls' night? I don't think so, no. I would say, if people are tight on money, just say, bring your own drinks. And then there you go, that's fine. Like, I know that if I was hosting, and I have done before, like, little gatherings with my friends and things, I always put bring drinks because I'm not going to be provided. Like, I don't know everyone's favourite drinks, you know? When I had my New Year's Eve party, I was just out buying drinks and I had no idea what I was buying. I think I just got vodka, lemonade, a few like other spirits. I don't really even remember what I got, but I know that some people wouldn't have had their favourite drink there. Like, I know for me, I drink, like, my favourite is Malibu, and people don't normally provide that. You take whatever you're going to be drinking and then no one else touches your drinks. And if you take food, everyone shares it, really. But yeah, I mean, that's the same at uni. If you're going around to someone's flat before you're going out, then you take your own drinks. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of an unwritten rule to take a bottle of something when you go somewhere. Because if you think about it, the person who's hosting always ends up with loads of things left over. They always end up with the leftover drinks, leftover snacks, everything. So I think it's a bit weird and out of place to ask for a fee, but, you know, each to their own. But anyway, so that is that dilemma. I would say definitely no, don't be charging for your girls' nights. I really don't think you need to. Let's get into the next dilemma. Okay, so the final dilemma. This one is a very different one. You're going to be shocked when you hear the subject. Do I need my best friend's permission to have a baby? Now, this is an interesting one. I cannot wait to read the description of this one This just sounds so strange. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm 26, just got married and have a 3-year-old already. I have a best friend and we've been besties since we were just 4 years old. She's my absolute ride or die. We tell each other everything. She was my maid of honour and she is scheduled to get married next year in June. We even have a hen do booked. I would love to start trying for another baby as I don't want mine to be too different in age and mine's already 3 years old. However, if I started trying now, I'd be heavily pregnant at the wedding and I wouldn't be able to fully fulfill the role of maid of honour. She was amazing at helping me with my wedding and I feel like I can't let her down. But I also feel like I can't put my whole life on hold for someone else's wedding, even if this is my best friend. Should I ask for her permission? Should I ask her if it's okay? Or should I just not be selfish and wait until after the wedding to start trying? I really don't want my children to have a huge age gap. I don't know what to do. Okay, see, as I said, guys, this is a tricky one. This is just ridiculous. I mean, it is such a tricky one. So you got married last year, or you just got married and you already have a 3-year-old. So your child is already 3. So they would probably be 4 by the time you have a baby. And that's if you get pregnant straight away. And that is a big age gap already. Now, if you had to postpone this a year to wait for her to get married next year, I don't know. I feel like that's a 5-year age gap. That's quite a lot. Oh, so the hen do would probably be in like May if the wedding's in June. Oh gosh, the thing is you don't know how long it would take for you to fall pregnant. The thing is if you started trying now, you could end up falling pregnant in May and that would kind of be perfect because then no one would know you're pregnant. You just would have to go without drinking on the hen do. The only thing you'd really miss out on then is the hen do. So that's probably the best case scenario. But obviously you want to fall pregnant as soon as possible because you don't want the huge age gap. I mean, she won't be angry at you. That's all we've got to remember. She's not going to be angry if you're pregnant. At the end of the day, that is your life and it's your decision. It's just, I know why you feel bad because obviously she was such an amazing maid of honour to you. So you just feel awful that you might not be able to fulfill that role. Because if you're heavily pregnant, if you're like 6 months pregnant, you know, that's not really heavily pregnant, but you know, you still can't do certain things when you're 6 months pregnant. You need rest. You're not going to be staying up late. You probably won't want to go on this hen do, especially because you can't drink. But then again, it could take like 3 months to fall pregnant. So you might not even be that heavily pregnant, just you'd only be unable to drink, which is ideal because it kind of works the best way for both of you. But maybe run it by her without mentioning the wedding. Just say, oh my God, me and Jason are trying for another baby. And she might just be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. You might be pregnant at my wedding. I mean, this girl is your best friend. You've been friends for so long. She is not going to be angry at you, is she? Realistically, she's not going to be angry that you're trying for a baby. That would just be silly because you said she's your absolute ride or die. I really don't think there's any need to ask her. You said, do you need to ask permission? Absolutely not. I don't think there's any need for you to ask permission for this kind of thing. I really don't think there's any need for that. You know, I don't think you should be changing your life for her wedding. It's very, very considerate of you. I mean, it's so lovely that you're even considering changing your whole life plans for her so that she feels like she's got you as a good maid of honour. But to be honest, your best friends, you're going to be a good maid of honour no matter what. And you know you're going to be there for her. And I feel like that's the main thing. As long as you're there for her and you can still do the duties that you were signed up to do, still help plan the wedding. I know you're going to have your own baby on the way, but if you still help to plan the wedding, then I'm sure she should be absolutely fine with this. I would hope so anyway. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. I don't know what you think. I really don't think you need to ask permission to have a baby. I don't think that's ever anyone else's decision other than you and your husband, especially because you already have a 3-year-old and you've said you don't want them to be different in age. So I would definitely go for it. I mean, you might take 6 months to fall pregnant. You never know, but maybe just say to her, I was thinking of doing this. And if she says, oh my God, my wedding, which I can't imagine she will, then maybe just say to her, oh, okay, well, I could postpone trying a couple months because then, you know, you'll only be like 4 months pregnant. So rather than a heavily pregnant woman at her wedding, I don't know. Anyway, at the end of the day, it's up to you, but I would definitely just say run it by her. But at the end of the day, it is your decision. So that's all of the dilemmas that I have for you all today. Thank you so much for listening. You can email any dilemmas or questions you have to catsouttheback@gmail.com. You can find all the information in the description box. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, Cats Out the Bag. And I look forward to seeing you guys all next week when you join me for another episode of Cats Out the Bag. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.